The A's are frustrating a lot of fans, including myself right now. A lot of things are going on, even though it's the off season, that fans are just, completely tired of, including myself. The cheap antics with the ownership, this ballpark thing that's just taking forever, and it's really getting to a lot of people. I've observed a lot of it. I mean, in the past couple of days, talking about the players, a lot of players have been speculated that they're going to leave, and not just your everyday player. These are all-star type guys. I'm hearing rumors the A's want to trade Matt Olson, Chris Bassett, Manaea, Frankie Montas, even Chapman maybe. A lot of their guys are free agents, and it's just depressing seeing this team that had a lot of success. And the A's didn't make the playoffs last year, but you got to remember they had a lot of bright spots, especially coming out of the All-Star break with those recent acquisitions of Yan Gomes, Marte, Harrison, and Chafin. They did play good. They didn't make the playoffs, but that doesn't mean they didn't have bright spots. And even, prior years to that, they had playoff years with that core of players like Olson and Chapman and others that just really contributed. To now see that might go away, it's just depressing. Mark Canha is pretty much guaranteed to be gone now. There's pretty much implications that he's already exploring different options. His offer was declined. And I don't think Mark Canha is our best player by any means, but he definitely was part of the success, and he was good and had a lot of bright spots in this year. It's frustrating. And then, the other thing is just the alienation of fans. For those of you that don't know, recently, a survey was sent out to Las Vegas Aviators ticket consumers about baseball, more specifically the A's in Las Vegas, like the hypothetical, what if the A's moved there? And it wasn't a very smart survey because most of the people in Oakland intercepted the link and were able to take it themselves. But the survey was pretty much asking, like, we're having these parallel paths, like Oakland ballpark progress is being made and Las Vegas. So hypothetically, if we were to move to Las Vegas, would you support them? And if so, state your reasons. It was the dumbest stuff ever. And eventually, the survey was given to Oakland fans. I was given the survey myself by the Oakland A's email, team. And I just think it's really stupid the way they did that. I don't understand the logic behind doing this survey. I don't think, a couple people answering it truthfully are going to, change anything. I just think it's all part of the bluff, but it still makes people angry because, we're having a team that's very much crumbling right now. The A's are at the bottom. For next year, I've seen World Series odds. The A's are like fourth to last. And they're right there with the Diamondbacks, Twins, all the teams that were laughing stocks last season. The A's are right there with them where they're projected. Now, they couldn't surprise people, but it's just the fact that they're focusing on this stupid Las Vegas plan when they have other problems. David Force, GM, comes out and says all this stuff, and it's like, they got to be focusing on the team. Yeah, I want the Oakland ballpark built, but where's the progress being made? I don't see anything on it. So they got to be focusing on a winning product, which they don't have right now because their whole team is going to leave if they don't get their acts together. John Fisher is not going to spend any more money. I've heard rumors that the A's are going to reduce their salary, their payroll this year to $50 million. Last year was $80 million. That's like close to half their salary. And the fact, if they did that, that would be ridiculous. That would be record-breaking lows for a $50 million payroll. I don't know if it'll get down to that low, but even if it gets close, that's ridiculous. You can't win in MLB with that. John Fisher, I wish he would sell the team. It would do everyone a favor, including himself. Well, maybe not himself because he makes a pretty steady profit, even though the A's don't get hardly any revenue because they're a terribly run baseball team. They're towards the bottom of revenue. I think they're 29th in the league, they're 29th in the league of revenue. 30th is the Marlins. The A's shouldn't be there. The A's have the possibility and potential to be a very profitable baseball team. They're right in the Bay Area, right where everyone is, but they choose not to spend money on players. They choose to wait out and waste time on the stadium stuff. And thus, it makes the fans mad. And, on top of that, ticket prices being increased in price. Come on, give me a break. It's ridiculous. I talked about that before, but it's still happening. Season ticket holder prices and just regular ticket prices are going to be increased, and it's like ridiculous. It's a terrible stadium. It's a terrible product because the two reasons: A's don't spend money, and for both of them respectively, they don't spend money on trying to make the team better, and they don't spend money on trying to make the stadium and overall experience better at the Coliseum itself. That alienates the fans. I mean, I honestly think that if fans boycotted and just didn't buy season tickets or just didn't go to games, maybe stuff would change, because I think instead of the A's being a low revenue team, I think their revenue might be negative. And, at the end of the day, I love the A's, but I don't love John Fisher, and I don't love seeing him get money off me, off us A's fans, at our expense, because the more people go to games, the more money John Fisher's getting. I hate to admit that, it's true. And it's like, I love going to A's games, but like at what cost? If I'm tired of these antics. It's like every year the experience is degrading, and that experience is part of the Coliseum experience and just part of the overall team not being good because the A's terrible ownership. And I'm telling you right now, we're not winning a World Series until John Fisher either has some sort of realization that he's doing the wrong thing and spends more money, or if he just sells the team altogether. There's going to be no World Series. I promise you. I guarantee you there will be no World Series. Heck, maybe not even ALCS appearances until that happens. I don't know when that'll happen. Might not happen until Howard Terminal or the new ballpark is built. I have no idea. I haven't heard too much about that, but I would hope and pray that John Fisher somehow is not owner pretty darn soon, because the A's are just a terribly run team. Like I've said, they're never going to change until they, change this. They change this, like this type of organization they are, of this cheap. Yeah, small market only goes so far until you're actually cheap and you don't care about your fans. So I respect small market. There's plenty of teams that win with the small market personality, not just in baseball. But the A's have gone from small market to not caring about their fans. And I'm speaking from experience, because I'm an A's fan, obviously. I'm a diehard fan of them. And someone that just doesn't resonate with the ownership, I've had it. I think it's terrible, the fact that they treat the fans like this. They never cared, recently about the fans. This last season was unbearable. The fact that they're talking about relocation midway through the season, not even midway, like they're partway through the season, they're talking about relocation. They announced season ticket prices are going up. They're doing all this Las Vegas visits. They're just doing the players' threat of them leaving. Matt Olson is one of the best first basemen in baseball, arguably the best. I mean, yeah, I guess, there's debate to be made about that, but I think he's definitely one of the best. And they're talking about trading him for prospects. I'm tired of the prospect game, the thing they're doing where every couple years they get a star player and all they do is they just want to trade for prospects. That's never going to win you a World Series. It might take you to a wild card game. Shiver me timbers. I'd love to see wild card, don't I? I love to see the same outcome every year. No, I don't. And it's been the same thing for years now, except for 2020. And I think the 2020 team, if Chapman's healthy and maybe they put a little bit more money into keeping some of those other guys that left the season prior, I think the A's might be a World Series contender. Now they're terrible because they don't put any money into it. They're reducing their budget every year. I don't think people realize that. They're reducing their payroll. They didn't even pay their minor leaguers for a whole season until the backlash was so heavy on John Fisher that he was forced and pressured into paying them. That is how ridiculous his ownership is. It's sad for these minor leaguers that are working for nothing. It's like, I understand that he wants to make money, but clearly isn't doing it the right way. And, data shows that winning a World Series and caring about your team and caring about your stadium and well-being of your organization accumulates to revenue. The A's are they're not a profitable team anymore. They're 29th in the league in revenue, just ahead of the Marlins. Like I said, stuff has to change. So anyways, that's my little talk on the recent, this is probably like a month worth of stuff that's been going on. The survey stuff has been kind of the big talk. The stadium progress is probably being made, but why aren't we hearing about this? stuff needs to be, I think, publicized a little bit more, because a lot of people don't know, the state of the stadium. A lot of people actually think they're going to move to Las Vegas and don't, because there's not a lot of publicity about the Oakland Stadium plan. And why isn't that publicity being made? Well, people don't tend to make, there's a lot of bias against the A's when it comes to media, but I think they still deserve that media attention. And the light is only shed on the bad stuff, but let's be real. There's a lot of bad stuff going on in this organization right now. It's gonna get messy when stuff goes down, when the stadium stuff is winding down, when the free agents don't want to stay here. It's gonna get ugly. Okay, I'm just telling you right now. This is a dysfunctional team. But yeah. Anyways, that'll wrap it up. Let me know your thoughts. Frustrated right now with the organization. John Fisher in particular, Cavill. Terrible organization that they're running this terribly. That's what I'm trying to say. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. I'll see you guys later, and yeah, peace out.